Good evening, everyone. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. This is Aaron with the news with all Heywet TV media team. Today we have a special news on the analysis of the General Assembly of ETHIOPIAN KALE HIYWOT CHURch. The 64th General Assembly of the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church, held in the southeastern Shewa region on March 25 and 26, 2017, concluded successfully. It is known that prior to this grand conference held on March 25 and 26, 2017, in the historic Teza compound in Durrani city in the southeastern Shewa region, the National Board held meetings on March 22 at the Bishoftu Center, and on March 24, 2017, in Durrani Teza, the Executive Board held meetings. These meetings provided the necessary consultations on various topics to be presented to the General Assembly, and it's known that both forums created the necessary momentum for the General Assembly. The annual General Assembly held on March 25 and 26, 2017 at the historic Teza compound in Durrani city was attended by the Church President, Vice President, General Secretary, members of the National Board and Executive Committee, leading ministries of regions and special associations, members of the General Assembly in general, representatives of fathers, and other administrative staff invited for work purposes. The participants were welcomed on Wednesday evening. Ato Tsaggai Dole, Secretary General of the Southeast Shewa region, welcomed all the members of the conference to the historic Durrani Teza, saying that your feet stepping on our region is a great blessing and joy for us. I respectfully invite you, on behalf of the believers of our region, to celebrate the dinner prepared in your honor together. The next day, on Thursday morning, Pastor Abura Awano delivered a sermon on the theme, But We Preach Christ Crucified, based on 1 Corinthians 1:23. After this, Dr. Simeon Mulat, the General Secretary of the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church, presented a detailed report of the headquarters. The Secretary General emphasized the need for strong prayer as the issue of the Kuriftu Center is legally binding and called for attention to be paid to the 2080 fundraising rule, efforts to strengthen the Kale Hiywot TV service, the efforts to build and expand centers, among other key issues. Following him, Dr. Tafera Talori, Commissioner of the Humanitarian Assistance and Development Commission of the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church, presented the performance report of the Humanitarian Assistance and Development Commission to the audience. The participants of the conference asked questions and provided comments on the reports. Accordingly, it was stated that the reports showed very encouraging progress and were commendable. Secretary General Dr. Simeon Mulat and the Commissioner Dr. Tafera Talori responded to questions raised regarding some basic issues. After Secretary General Dr. Simeon Mulat presented in detail the process and points that needed improvement regarding the improvement of the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church's bylaws, the Assembly unanimously approved the implementation, praising the progress. After that, the audit reports of the head office, the Development Commission, and the Kuriftu Center were listened to and comments and discussions were held. It was stated that the comments given by the audit expert and the members of the council were encouraging, that the transparency and honesty in terms of financial management were encouraging. In particular, it was said that the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission's budget was able to reach billions, including digitalization, and was appreciated. The Social Security report was presented by Ato Araya, and the Tesfa Microfinance report was presented by Pastor Yosef Bekele. One of the issues discussed at the conference was the statement issued by the Ethiopian Evangelical Believers Council on false teachings and false prophets, and it was stated that the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church unwaveringly support the council's statement. In connection with this, the church issued an 8-point statement of position before the members of the council, stating that it is ready and unchanging to maintain the clear biblical teachings that have been in place, opposing the teachings and practices that have been introduced and foreign to the times. The next day, Friday, the conference began with a speech by Pastor Abraham Bota, the General Secretary of the Walaita region, on topic of obstacles to the Great Commission based on Acts 1. The main agenda of the day was the election of outgoing and retired leaders and the Deputy Commissioner of the Humanitarian Assistance and Development Commission. Accordingly, Dr. Tasso Gabri, the former president of the Ethiopian Kale Hiywot Church, who has completed his term of service, has been succeeded by his deputy, Dr. Simeon Haliso, who received the highest number of votes and assumed the position of president. Dr. Daniel Chamiso, the candidate to replace the vacated vice president position, received the highest number of votes and became the new vice president. In addition, Dr. Wendemu Abebe was elected by a large majority in the election to replace the former Deputy Secretary General, Dr. Emias Mamo, who resigned from his post due to personal family reasons after seeking Christians' permission. Dr. Weita Waza won the election to appoint the Deputy Commissioner of the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, Human Assistance and Development Commission by a large majority. In addition, new leaders were elected to replace the outgoing members of the National Board and Executive Committee in the spiritual sector, and new board members were elected in both the sector and the Humanitarian Assistance and Development Commission. Following this, the Secretary General, Dr. Simeon Mulat, blessed the organizer, the Southeast Shewa region, and then introduced the South Mahal region, which is the organizer of the next 65th General Assembly. Finally, the Lord's Supper was held and the assembly concluded successfully. Thank you for staying with us. These are all the news we have for today.